Hi everybody, this is Susan and Jacqui with Thursday Thoughts at 3. Yeah, it's past 3. You know why? Because for some reason it did not tape. Tagged. We're tagged already.
Okay, guys, yeah.
So we didn't record, so
here we go again.
You know what? It's the day after 9/11 and things are stirring up here. So
it does feel that way. So where were you, Susan?
Where was I? I was actually at a yoga studio taking a yoga class, and then the next person that came in is like, "Did you hear about the airplane that crashed in the Trade Center?
World Trade Center. It's so upsetting. It's very upsetting.
It's like really affecting us in a way that's just so silly since 18 years later. So I came out.
It's silly. That's the point.
I know. It's still embedded in our memory cells and affects us.
Over, yeah.
So I was coming out and somebody said, "Oh, did you hear about coming out of my yoga class?" And coming out of my yoga class, and somebody said, "Oh, there's a plane that crashed into the World Trade Center." And I was like, "Oh my God, what a crazy pilot is that? Is this person on drugs or whatever?" And then, of course, one after another plane was crashed into someplace. By the time I heard the fourth plane flying around, I actually went back to school, gathered all my children, and brought them home. And I think it was like more of an anxiety. Not that I thought something would happen to my children, but I guess as a child of Holocaust survivors and this like fear mode, this memory cells, this PTSD I have that's intergenerational.
Oh, yeah.
Run through like, oh my God, I just need to keep safe. I need to be safe. I need to make sure my children are safe as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't think there's a person out there that
cannot
remember where they were.
Mm-hmm. That was like my parents, everyone, and I was a little too young. Everyone remembered where they were when JFK was shot.
Yeah, or when
big things, or the NASA ship.
Yes, everybody knows
rocket
exactly
ship went off. So for me, actually,
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert. Hi, Mol. How are you, Gail? I saw you on there too. And Gayla, how are you all? I worked on Wall Street at the time, and ironically, as a divorce coach, I was supposed to be in family court that day, post-divorce, fighting a child custody issue with my ex-husband on Staten Island. So in a crazy way, people laughed and said, "Oh, he was fighting you for custody, and that was the first day you didn't go to work on Wall Street in 2 years. It's like your ex-husband saved your life." And it wasn't funny, and he didn't save my life. But I was not there for the first time, but I was there 5 days later with the smells and the odors, and I was there for a year at watching the cleanup and the ashes and truly the smells and watching what was going on. And it was a weird attraction and fear at the same time, wanting to see what was going on, not wanting to forget what hate could do. But such a horrible feeling. And my older daughter, who had just come home from college, was accepting a job that day and was actually first on AOL Instant Messenger with a friend of hers who worked on the 102nd floor of the World Trade Center at Cantor Fitzgerald. And all of a sudden, AOL went dead. And she didn't know what happened, but got on the bus to get into the city to accept a job, and she was cut off the first bus, not when they closed down the Lincoln Tunnel. My husband went into the city, saw what was going on with his partner, and was coming back to try to catch a ferry to get home, and on Broadway and 42nd turned around and watched the second tower go down. So everyone has a story.
We have a good friend also. He also worked in the second building. And when the alarm went off in the first building, he ran down. But they got a phone call. They got an announcement saying, "No, everybody go back to your office."
Absolutely.
Go back there, because it was the other building. And then he actually, when their building got hit, he helped a friend of his, or a colleague of his who has a prosthetic leg, walk down those hundreds of flights and the sweat. It's a story, one story after another.
The stories, yeah.
And it really, really affects us, even though I was not in the same spot with them. There is this energy that you feel. There's a nervousness. There is it's a trauma. It's like a secondhand trauma. It's almost like intergenerational, but it's like cross-generational.
It is in our cells. See, my parents are Holocaust survivors too, and I remember not wanting to believe my father ever thinking that hate could go to, I remember thinking hate could never go to this extreme anymore. And my father saying, but you don't understand, you don't understand. And my parents were on the West Coast at the time. And I remember this was after the first plane went down. I called my mother very frightened and I go, Mom, a plane went into the World Trade Center. And my mother, without blinking an eye, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, her time, 9 o'clock ours, said, terrorists. And I, to that moment, still did not want to believe it. I'm going, Mom, why do you always think the worst?
So interesting, because my parents are Holocaust survivors too, and we were always taught, like, be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. So of course that is what came to my mind. Oh my God, there's terrorism. It's going to happen all over again. All this, you know, because that's what we were brought up believing.
I had it. Same thing, but I went the other way, which is so interesting. Like our parents going through the horror of something so similar. Some of them turned to religion.
Right.
Others went away from religion. So it shows you how trauma triggers different things in different people.
Right.
But
it's deep in our memory cells. Even if we are not there, I mean, the environment, really, we've learned that environment affects us.
Oh, it does.
It sends, you know, the stress signals, it sends to our DNA, into our brain cells and our memory cells, and we learn how to deal with the stress of the environment.
Angela,
I mean,
your parents were Holocaust survivors too, so
right.
you know
and,
we're talking about.
Sippy herself.
Sippy,
survived.
yeah.
She was a very good friend of my parents.
Well, I just know what I remembered out of the horrors, out of the ashes, you know, was the unity.
Yes.
And the love and the respect and the understanding that we all come from the same place. Our energy it comes together in a negative way or a positive way, and we affect each other.
Yes.
If I have a bad day, Susan, and I take it
It's
out on you,
but it's contagious.
you take it out on the next guy. And this is where around the planet there are pockets of negative energy, and that's where the wars are. And everybody's angry all the time.
Right.
And then you go to some of the countries and everybody's peaceful and calm and everything is nice, and there's no wars there. We are, our energy. What I loved was that we were all together today. Thank you, Amy. And now the sad thing is 18 years later, we've watched the progression go back again, and it's even worse.
Yeah, it's very sad, because I think, like, if I have to look back, I mean, why do we need a catastrophe like
To bring us together.
9/11 to bring us together?
You know the song, Why Can't We Be Friends?
Yes.
You know,
I mean,
why?
even like, you know, Ronnie King, like, you know, why can't we just get along? Like, what is with hatred going on in this world? It's triggering so much anxiety and stress. I don't even like watching the news anymore.
No.
You know, I didn't even like want to post yesterday. Like, thousands of people are posting the 9/11. I'm just like, I just don't want to go there. I need more joy in my life, and I need to find kindness in others, and find, you know, positive in other people. Yeah, Angela, it is scary days.
I know people
hi,
now.
Devorah.
Look at the mass shootings. Perfect example of
Yeah.
terrorism here in our own country.
Anger. Like, when do we stop? When can we stop the anger? And I think it's got to start with one person at a time, you know? I think if we, you know, guys, do me a favor.
Oh, I'm going to say it. I have to just say.
Go ahead.
Everybody who watches now, either live or the playback, please, I would love for you to tell us one way that you can promise yourself, even a small way, to go out and show an act of kindness, even when someone is not nice, because they're not being mean to you. It's their own stuff.
Right.
So if you show them a little kindness, you might break them down a little and make them realize that there are good people out there. And if we all do that,
pay it forward.
like that little snowball that gets bigger and bigger. Let's make it a big, good snowball.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, even if it's not reacting to somebody, you know, if we could, that's a kindness, because we're not reacting to somebody's shtick or stuff or whatever it is. So, you know, guys, comment below, you know, either, you know, or both, where you were 9/11 and what act of kindness can you possibly do?
Yes, Heimel, we switched. Good.
Switching
Yes.
sides. You know what, you guys, we were thinking about like going.
Don't
in the
tell
back.
them. Don't tell them.
Do it.
Don't tell them what we're doing next.
We'll really confuse
But
everybody.
thank you, guys. We're going to leave this on a high note. But if you would please just let us know an act of kindness you might be able to do. Small
Yeah.
little act of kindness
and that
somebody
you've
else
done,
can,
and
or
that you've done.
Yeah, please. So we will see you next week. It's 10 minutes. We don't want to take more of your time and so appreciate it. But this is Jacqui Atcheson, Better Path to Divorce.
And Susan Greif with Art Men's Hearts. Have a great day.
And peace out means
Peace out.
peace out.